Hi everyone, welcome to the Spiritual Space Series, a place for you to explore your inner world. Today, I want to invite you to take an intuition-based spiritual root test. In front of you, there are 6 types of spiritual roots. Each one carries its own energy, holding the exact message your soul wants to tell you right now. Please don't think about which ones to choose. Just follow your intuition and your feelings. Whichever image feels familiar at first sight or pulls you in, or makes you feel calm, that's the one that reflects your energy in this moment. Give yourself a slow, deep breath. Relax. Return to your body. Return to this moment. Let the answer come to you naturally instead of trying to pick it. Ready? Then, let's take a look at which spiritual path your soul is practicing right now. A. You chose the metal root. The metal root carries a sharp, clear, cutting energy, like a blade forming in morning fog, slicing through illusion and reflecting truth. It represents purity, clarity, insight, and purification. Your soul was born with the ability to see truth. Even in a chaotic world, you can sense what's real beneath the noise. Being drawn to the metal root means you're remembering your inner sword, the sword of awakening. Metal isn't about attacking. It's about protecting the truth of your soul and your subconscious state. You resonate with metal because you long to see clearly. You may have gone through times of being misunderstood, concealed, or influenced by others' emotions. During those moments, your soul learned to stay rational, using clarity to resist chaos, and using logic to protect yourself. But because of this sensitivity, you sometimes live too awake, too sharp. You see too much, think too deeply. Your emotions get cut by your own logic. Your softness gets buried under standards. You chase purity but drift away from feeling. Metal reminds you, true clarity isn't judgment. It's compassion that comes after seeing the truth behind confusion. Your soul is saying, when the blade gets too sharp, you end up cutting yourself. Your balance comes from adding softness to your sharpness. You don't have to stay on guard all the time. You don't need to hold the world together. You can put the sword down and let yourself be held for once. Metal's path is refining. Not refining others, refining yourself. Refining the heart in silence, refining truth in the wind. Refining strength in solitude. When you refine your attachments, sharpness turns into radiance. True power knows boundaries without building walls. It stays clear without losing warmth. When logic and compassion merge, you're not just someone who sees through the world, you become the light that understands it. When you embody the metal root, you'll realize clarity isn't cold. It's a pure, transparent kindness. Seeing through illusion while still seeing the goodness in every soul. You'll stay calm in chaos, keep order in turbulence, and bring balance wherever human hearts get complicated. You are a guardian of light. Your presence brings boundaries to disorder and a home for truth. When you settle into your clarity, your energy naturally steadies others. Real sharpness is silent, forged in stillness, shaped without noise. When you no longer need to defend yourself, clarity becomes compassion. B. You chose the wood root. The wood root carries the crisp scent of morning dew, the power of a sprout breaking through soil. It represents growth, healing, and renewal. No matter what happens, wood remembers its direction, upward, toward the light. Choosing this image means your soul is calling for growth, not the exhausting, forced kind, but a deeper return to the natural flow of life, your subconscious state. You may have gone through long periods of suppression or compliance. In relationships, you're often the first to sense others' needs, and the last to ask, what do I want? You may have believed that only by pleasing others could you stay connected. So you became understanding, gentle, thoughtful. But in the process, you lost your wild, original vitality. The wood root reminds you that your growth is no longer for someone else. It's for you. Your soul is shedding old layers. You're learning to stop playing healer or caretaker and returning to the version of yourself that grows freely. The lesson isn't about growing more branches for the world, but returning to your roots, the part of you that nourishes you. When you stop pushing yourself outward, you'll see that growth isn't about speed. It's about direction. Wood teaches you. Soft doesn't mean weak. Bending doesn't mean surrender. The real practice is learning to stay flexible in the wind and still choose the light in difficult times. When the wood root awakens, you'll feel life again. A warm, gentle strength grows within you. You won't fear losing approval because you've planted a whole forest in your own heart. You'll become a source of stability and hope, healing others just by being yourself. When a soul learns to grow for itself, it naturally becomes a conduit of light. Wood's truth is simple. Wood doesn't ask which way the wind blows, only whether the heart grows. When roots are deep, storms don't matter. When the heart is steady, spring returns on its own. When you stop seeking other sunlight, the whole world blooms for you. See, you chose the water root. The water root represents emotion, intuition, and the flow of the soul. It's invisible yet penetrating, silent yet nourishing. Choosing this one means your soul wants to return to flow. Water-rooted souls are sensitive, gentle, and perceptive. You feel everything: the shift in the wind, the rise and fall of emotions, the tiny ripples in people's hearts. But because of this, you can easily get pulled into other people's waves. Sometimes, you can't even tell which feelings are yours and which ones you absorbed. Right now, you may not have relaxed for a long time. You're used to being an emotional container, receiving, soothing, understanding, and you forget where you fit in. You might feel tired, not because you do too much, but because you feel too much. You're drawn to the water root because your soul remembers. Water is soft, but also powerful. It never resists form, yet always finds a way forward. Your inner world is calling for this. Let go of control. Trust the flow. Let life carry you for once. Your soul reminds you, the path isn't about calming every wave, but learning to live with them. Water's lesson is finding inner stillness in outer turbulence. You don't need to repress emotion or avoid sensitivity. That's your greatest gift. You perceive truth through feeling. You just need to stand firmly within those feelings. So flow becomes strength, not exhaustion. Water's wisdom is soft, but with boundaries. Still, but aware. When you trust the moment, every emotion becomes a spiritual message rather than a burden. When the water root awakens, you become an emotional alchemist, turning sorrow into insight, pain into creation, softness into healing. People feel calm just by being near you. Your sensitivity isn't weakness. It's how the universe speaks through you. Your soul flows like a quiet spring, carrying life across every barren field. Water's truth is, water has no fixed shape. That's why it enters all realms. A heart with no fixed edges can enter the way. Soft is not weak. Still is not numb. Flow is the real form of power. When you learn to flow with life, life clears a path for you. D, you chose the fire root. The fire root represents willpower, passion, and creation. The spark that keeps burning even in darkness. If you're drawn to fire, your soul is ready to reawaken, to reignite a long-lost passion, to live brighter and more powerful again. Fire-rooted people have seeds of light inside them. They want to move, create, ignite. They lift the energy of everyone around them. But because of this intensity, you sometimes burn yourself out. You shine too fast, too bright, and end up exhausted, feeling burned by your own fire. In your subconscious state, you might be stuck between suppressing your passion and craving freedom. Maybe you were misunderstood or criticized before, so you learned to dim your flame. You hid your impulses, worried that being too bright would push people away. You kept the fire in your chest, burning quietly where no one could see. Fire appears now to remind you, this flame isn't meant to be smothered by fear. It's your soul's signal, your source of creation. Your task isn't to suppress your fire, it's to master it. Your soul says, true fire isn't an explosion, it's a steady burn. It doesn't destroy, it warms. You don't need to prove you deserve to be seen. You were born with light. Practicing the fire root is cultivating a flame that never rushes and never dies. When you stay conscious inside the burn, fire becomes refining, not destruction. It burns away obsession, illuminates your true heart, gives rhythm to passion and breath to energy. When fire and heart unite, life becomes a calm yet powerful practice. When the fire root awakens, you become the spark that ignites others. Your presence makes people remember what passion feels like. Every word you say, every action you take, lights something up inside others. You no longer fear being too strong, too bright, too intense, because you finally understand. The point of light isn't to be accepted. It's to light the dark. Fire's truth. Fire burns not to destroy, but to refine the heart. When you no longer fear the heat, you become the flame. You chose the earth root. The earth root represents stability, trust, and grounding. The mother of all things, the place where life takes root. If this energy attracts you, your soul is longing for safety and belonging. You may have gone through instability, shaky relationships, uncertain work, emotional ups and downs. In these moments, your soul naturally calls for earth. Earth reminds you, stability doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the ground beneath your feet and the trust between you and yourself. In your subconscious, you're someone who naturally takes care of others. You carry responsibilities. You protect. You support. You're the backbone of the team, the center of the family, the emotional buffer. But this quiet strength hides deep fatigue. While protecting everyone else, you sometimes forget who is protecting you. The earth root is telling you, you are allowed to stop. You are allowed to be held. The earth carries everything because it knows how to be still. Stillness isn't laziness, it's inner balance. Your soul reminds you, the earth path doesn't make you stronger. It teaches you trust and support. You don't need to stand tall all the time. You can exhale, sink into the embrace of life, and feel supported. When you trust life, you stop fearing the future. You'll discover that stability isn't rigid. It's a soft and steady confidence. Real safety never comes from outside, but from the certainty inside you. No matter where I am, life holds me. When the earth root awakens, you become a source of peace for others. People feel safe around you. The world naturally slows down near you. The more you relax, the more power you have. The less you chase stability, the more grounded you become. You become soil that grows flowers, nourishing others and yourself at the same time. Earth's truth. Earth speaks not, yet life grows. True stability isn't stillness, it's a steady heart. When you trust the ground under your feet, life lifts you up. F. You chose the chaos root. Chaos is the state before creation, before yin and yang separate, before forms appear. It's not light or dark, not movement or stillness. Choosing this route means your soul is undergoing deep awakening, a call to move from fragmentation into wholeness. You may have gone through pressure, identity collapse, relationships falling apart, old versions of yourself dissolving, while the new you hasn't fully formed yet. Chaos isn't mess, it's the womb of rebirth. Your subconscious state is one of transition. Old frequencies are breaking down. New energies are being born. Logic doesn't work here. Plans don't guarantee results. You can only flow with change. You may feel lost, weightless, like all your old paths stopped working. But remember, chaos is not disorder. It is pre-creation. Your soul is leaving old rules and learning to trust the unknown while creating new order from within. Your soul reminds you, don't rush clarity. The path of chaos is learning to stay centered in the unknown. When you stop judging good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure, you return to the origin of the Tao, pure being. True power doesn't come from clarity. It comes from embracing the unclear. When you stop defining yourself, life unfolds in a higher order. Your soul says, don't fear losing direction. It means you're aligning with the universe. When the chaos root awakens, you're no longer limited to being someone. You become the flow of everything. You can create in the seen and perceive the unseen. You can find order in chaos and rebirth in endings. Your presence awakens others because you're no longer searching for meaning. You are the source of meaning. Chaos, truth. Chaos has no form. The Tao emerges from it. Don't chase light or darkness. Stay centered. When you stop seeking answers, the universe answers through you. These are the full explanations of all 6 spiritual roots. None of them is better. They simply represent different stages of the soul's journey. Some are learning to cut through illusion, some to grow, some to feel, some to ignite, some to trust, some to dissolve and rebirth. Every root is a path toward wholeness. May you learn to see, accept, and trust who you are in this moment. Because when you follow your true nature, life opens paths for you. If this video resonates with you, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be sharing more content on the subconscious and soul awakening. Let's walk the path of awakening together. See you next time.